My friends, kindness is a gift, a light that shines in the darkness of this world. But let me tell you something: being too kind, giving too much, always being available, can sometimes lead to heartbreak. There are people in your life who will take your kindness for granted. They will accept your generosity without gratitude, your love without commitment, and your time without appreciation. But hear me now. If someone truly wants you in their life, they will make room for you. They will not treat you as an option, as an afterthought, or as someone to be called upon only when they need something. You are not a convenience. You are a child of purpose, designed for greater things. Do not chase people who make you feel unwanted. Do not beg for a place at a table where you were never meant to sit. Your worth is not determined by how much you give, how much you sacrifice, or how much you tolerate. Your worth is determined by the one who created you, who loves you beyond measure, and who has called you to walk in dignity. Yes, be kind. Yes, be loving, but do not be blind. Open your eyes to those who reciprocate, to those who cherish you, to those who honor you, not just in words, but in actions. If you have to constantly prove your value to someone, then, my friend, they have already made the decision not to see it. So today I urge you, stand firm in who you are, love freely but wisely, and remember this: when someone truly wants you in their life, they will not leave you questioning, they will make it clear. Kindness is a beautiful gift, a reflection of love, grace, and compassion. It has the power to heal wounds, restore hope, and bring light into the darkest corners of life. When we extend kindness to others, we are participating in something far greater than ourselves, something that echoes beyond the moment. Yet, as powerful and necessary as kindness is, there is a hard truth that many fail to acknowledge. Kindness should never come at the cost of self-neglect. Too often, people believe that to be truly kind, they must give without limit, always be available, and never say no. They sacrifice their own needs, silence their own desires, and put others first to the point of exhaustion. While selflessness is a virtue, self-neglect is not. There is a fine line between being kind and being used, between offering love freely and allowing oneself to be drained dry. When kindness is given without wisdom, it ceases to be a gift and becomes a burden. Many kind-hearted individuals find themselves trapped in cycles of one-sided relationships. They give endlessly, hoping that one day their love and efforts will be reciprocated. They extend understanding to those who never consider their feelings. They make sacrifices for people who never acknowledge them. And they stay loyal to those who would not do the same. Their hearts tell them that kindness is the answer to everything, that if they just give a little more, try a little harder, then surely others will see their worth. But the reality is this: people who truly appreciate kindness do not demand that it comes at the cost of your well-being. Being kind does not mean becoming a doormat. It does not mean always saying yes, always being available, or allowing others to walk over you. Kindness should not be an obligation. It should be a choice, one that is given with joy, not with exhaustion or resentment. There are people in this world who will take advantage of a giving spirit, who will see kindness not as a gift but as an opportunity to manipulate, to take without returning, to drain without ever refilling. These are the ones who do not recognize the cost of what they take, who do not value the person behind the kindness. There is a difference between being selfless and losing yourself. A heart that is constantly poured out with no replenishment will eventually run dry. Love, compassion, and generosity should flow freely, but they should also be protected. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot give your best to others if you have nothing left within yourself. That is not selfishness, that is wisdom. A kind heart is a rare and precious thing, and it should be cherished, not exploited. If you find yourself always being the one who listens but never being heard, always being the one who gives but never receiving, always being the one who shows up while others remain absent, then it is time to step back and evaluate. Kindness should be mutual. Love should be reciprocal. Relationships, whether friendships, family, or romance, should be built on a foundation of respect and appreciation. People who truly value you will not let you exhaust yourself just to keep them happy. They will not take advantage of your kindness without offering it in return. They will respect your boundaries, acknowledge your efforts, and ensure that your kindness is met with gratitude rather than expectation. If someone only appreciates you when they need something, if they only reach out when they require your help, then they do not value you. They value what you can do for them. Walking away from those who take your kindness for granted does not make you unkind. Setting boundaries does not make you selfish. Prioritizing your well-being does not mean you love others any less. It simply means you recognize that your kindness has value and that it should be given where it is respected. True kindness comes from a place of strength, not from weakness. It is not about allowing yourself to be used, but about choosing to love and give where it makes a difference. It is about knowing when to say yes and when to say no. It is about understanding that your heart is a treasure and not everyone is worthy of access to it. Be kind, but be wise. Give freely, but do not give yourself away. Love deeply, but do not lose yourself in the process. Because the greatest kindness you can show is not just to others, but to yourself as well. If someone truly wants you in their life, they will make room for you. This is not a complicated truth, but many struggle to accept it. People often find themselves making excuses for others, justifying neglect, or holding onto relationships that leave them feeling unseen and unvalued. They convince themselves that if they try a little harder, if they are more available, more patient, more forgiving, then perhaps the other person will finally acknowledge their worth. But the truth remains the same. When someone values you, they will not leave you questioning where you stand. Life is busy, and people have responsibilities, challenges, and commitments. However, no matter how full a person's schedule may be, they will always make time for the things and people that truly matter to them. It does not mean they must be available every second of the day, nor does it mean they will always have the perfect words or actions. But it does mean that they will show, through their choices, that you are a priority. They will not keep you waiting indefinitely, wondering if they care. They will not give you the bare minimum while expecting your full devotion in return. They will not make you feel like an afterthought, a backup plan, or someone to be entertained only when convenient. A person who genuinely wants you in their life will create space for you, not just in their schedule, but in their heart. They will include you in their world, not as an obligation, but as a natural response to their feelings for you. You will not have to force your way in, repeatedly proving your value or reminding them of your existence. You will not have to beg for their time, affection, or acknowledgement. If they care, they will make sure you know it. If they cherish you, they will not risk losing you through indifference. Many people hold onto relationships where they are tolerated rather than celebrated. They cling to connections where their presence is optional, where they are only reached out to when needed, where their feelings are not considered with the same weight as the other person's. They excuse the lack of effort by assuming the other person is just bad at communication or going through something. And while it is true that life has difficult seasons, consistency in care and respect does not require perfection. It only requires intention. Someone who values you will not let long periods go by without checking in, without showing appreciation, without making sure you feel included. Love, whether in friendships, family, or romantic relationships, should not be a guessing game. It should not feel like an endless test where one person keeps proving their loyalty while the other withholds theirs. You deserve people who choose you, who make time for you, who ensure you feel wanted rather than tolerated. You deserve relationships where you do not have to question your place, where effort flows in both directions, and where love is demonstrated rather than just spoken. When someone truly wants you in their life, they will not wait until you are on the verge of walking away before showing effort. They will not only value you when they fear losing you. Their care will be evident not just in grand gestures, but in the small, everyday ways they prioritize you. They will remember the little details, check in even when life is hectic, and make sure you feel included rather than forgotten. They will want to know how you are doing, not just when they need something, but simply because they care. It is a painful truth to accept when someone you care for does not reciprocate in the same way. It is easy to fall into the habit of waiting, of giving more than you receive, of hoping that someday they will change. But waiting for someone to finally recognize your value can be one of the most heartbreaking and exhausting experiences. The hard truth is that if someone consistently fails to make room for you, it is not because they are too busy, too distracted, or too overwhelmed. It is because they have chosen not to. People prioritize what matters to them. If they wanted you in their life, they would act like it. This is not to say that love should be measured by constant attention or unrealistic expectations. Everyone has moments when they falter, when they get caught up in their own struggles, when they are not as present as they should be. But even in those moments, those who truly care will find a way to make sure you still feel valued. They will communicate, they will reassure, they will make it clear that your place in their life is not temporary or uncertain. Relationships built on genuine love and respect do not require constant proving. They do not make you feel as though you are replaceable or unimportant. When someone truly wants you in their life, they will not need to be convinced, chased, or reminded of your worth. They will not give you empty words with no actions to back them up. Instead, they will create space for you, not out of obligation, but out of love. Because when something matters, when someone truly values another person, they will make sure that person never has to wonder where they stand. Do not chase people who make you feel unwanted. It is one of the hardest lessons to learn, yet one of the most important. There is something deeply painful about wanting to be close to someone who continuously makes you feel like an afterthought. It creates a longing, a hope that maybe if you try harder, give more, or become someone different, they will finally see your worth. But the truth is, if someone values you, they will not make you feel like you are fighting for a place in their life. They will not leave you questioning whether you matter to them. Many people spend years chasing after those who show only indifference in return. They wait for a response, for an invitation, for a sign that they are wanted, only to be met with silence or half-hearted effort. They excuse the neglect, convincing themselves that the other person is just busy or going through something difficult. But time and time again, they find themselves at the bottom of the priority list, reaching out to someone who only gives them the bare minimum in return. Chasing after people who do not want you in their life only leads to heartbreak. It forces you into a cycle of self-doubt where you begin to wonder if you are not good enough, not interesting enough, or not lovable enough. The truth, however, is that your worth is not determined by another person's ability to see it. If someone does not appreciate what you bring to their life, that is not a reflection of your value. It is a reflection of their own inability to recognize it. People who care about you will not leave you feeling like you are an inconvenience. They will not make you beg for attention or affection. They will not disappear until it is convenient for them to acknowledge you. Instead, they will make an effort, no matter how busy life gets. They will show up not just when they need something, but because they genuinely want to be around you. When someone values you, their actions will make it clear. You will not have to chase them because they will meet you halfway. One of the biggest traps people fall into is believing that if they prove their loyalty, their patience, and their unwavering presence, the other person will finally change. But love, friendship, and respect are not things that should have to be earned through suffering. If someone truly wants you in their life, they will not put you in a position where you have to fight for their attention. They will not make you feel invisible or like a backup plan. Instead, they will make you feel seen, valued, and appreciated. Walking away from those who make you feel unwanted is not easy. There is always a lingering hope that maybe things will be different, that maybe they will wake up one day and realize what they lost. But the longer you chase someone who does not appreciate you, the more you lose yourself in the process. You start shrinking your needs, suppressing your feelings, and settling for whatever crumbs of attention they decide to give. You accept treatment that you would never want for someone you love, simply because you want to hold onto something that is not meant for you. The right people, the ones who truly belong in your life, will not need to be chased. They will not play games with your emotions or make you feel like you are always one step away from losing them. They will show up with consistency, with effort, and with a genuine desire to be in your life. They will make space for you not because you forced your way in, but because they want you there. It is important to recognize that walking away is not about bitterness or resentment. It is about self-respect. It is about understanding that you deserve relationships where you do not have to question your place. It is about knowing that real connections are built on mutual effort, not one-sided pursuit. The right people will meet you where you are without you having to constantly chase after them. Letting go of those who make you feel unwanted opens the door for the right people to enter. It allows you to redirect your energy toward relationships that uplift and nourish you rather than drain you. It gives you the freedom to invest in people who see your value without needing to be convinced. Most importantly, it teaches you to stop settling for less than what you deserve. When you stop chasing those who make you feel unwanted, you reclaim your self-worth. You remind yourself that you are worthy of love, of respect, and of relationships that bring joy rather than pain. You learn that true connections should never feel like a battle to be fought. Instead, they should feel natural, effortless, and built on a foundation of mutual care and appreciation. Your worth is not defined by how much you give or sacrifice. Yet, many people measure their value by what they can offer others, believing that love, acceptance, and respect must be earned through selflessness. They pour themselves into relationships, friendships, and commitments, thinking that the more they give, the more they will be appreciated. They stretch themselves thin, always prioritizing others, always putting their own needs second, hoping that their efforts will be recognized. But too often, this mindset leads to exhaustion, disappointment, and a sense of emptiness rather than fulfillment. There is nothing wrong with giving. Generosity is a beautiful thing, and love often involves sacrifice. But when you start equating your worth with how much you are willing to endure for others, you enter dangerous territory. You begin to tolerate mistreatment, neglect, and one-sided relationships because you believe that enduring these things proves your value. You tell yourself that if you just try harder, give more, and push through the pain, the people in your life will finally see how much you care. But the reality is, those who truly appreciate you will never require you to lose yourself to prove your worth. Many people fall into the trap of believing that love must be earned through suffering. They believe that if they can be the most understanding, the most patient, the most giving, then they will finally receive the love they crave. They stay in relationships where their kindness is taken for granted, where their efforts go unreciprocated, all because they believe that leaving would mean they failed. But love is not meant to be a test of endurance. You do not have to prove your worth by sacrificing your own happiness. The right people will love you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. It is easy to believe that being needed is the same as being valued. People who constantly give and sacrifice for others often feel a deep sense of purpose in being the one that others rely on. They are the ones who always say yes, who are always available, who go out of their way to help even when they are struggling themselves. But there is a difference between being loved for who you are and being kept around because you are useful. True connection is not built on what you can offer, but on mutual care and respect. The harsh truth is that some people will take as much as you are willing to give without ever giving back. They will let you sacrifice for them. They will accept your generosity, and they will take advantage of your kindness without ever considering your needs in return. If you measure your worth by how much you can give, you will always feel the need to give more, to do more, to prove yourself. Because no matter how much you do, it will never feel like enough. But you were never meant to earn love by depleting yourself. Your worth exists outside of what you can offer others. It is not based on how much you can endure, how much you can give, or how much you are willing to sacrifice. It is not measured by how much you tolerate or how much you suffer for the sake of keeping others happy. Your worth is inherent. It is something that should be recognized and cherished, not something you have to convince others to see. There is freedom in understanding that you do not have to give endlessly to be loved. You do not have to prove your value by always putting others first. The people who truly love and respect you will not expect you to sacrifice your own well-being for their sake. They will not demand that you give until there is nothing left. They will appreciate you for who you are, not just for what you can do for them. Letting go of the need to prove your worth through sacrifice allows you to live with more balance and self-respect. It allows you to give from a place of love rather than obligation. It allows you to set boundaries, to recognize when a relationship is one-sided, and to walk away from situations where your kindness is being taken for granted. It allows you to love yourself enough to know that you deserve reciprocity, appreciation, and care. You are not more worthy because you give more. You are not more valuable because you endure more. Your worth is not something that should be earned through suffering or self-sacrifice. You are enough simply because you are. And the right people will see that without needing you to prove it. Love freely, but be wise about who deserves your time and energy. Love is one of the most powerful and beautiful forces in the world. It has the ability to heal, to uplift, and to bring meaning to life. To love is to open your heart, to give without expecting anything in return, and to pour kindness into the lives of others. But love, as limitless as it may seem, should still be given with discernment. Not everyone who receives your love will value it, and not everyone deserves the deepest parts of your heart. Many people grow up believing that love means giving endlessly, always being available, and putting others before themselves. They see love as something to be proven through sacrifice, patience, and unwavering loyalty. While love does require effort and selflessness at times, it should never require someone to lose themselves in the process. Love given to the wrong people, those who do not appreciate it, respect it, or reciprocate it, can become exhausting rather than fulfilling. When love is poured into people who only take and never give, it drains the heart instead of nourishing it. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay, and not everyone deserves full access to your heart. There are those who will take your kindness for granted, who will see your love as something they are entitled to rather than something to cherish. They will accept your time, your energy, and your devotion without ever offering the same in return. If you are not careful, you will find yourself giving more than you receive, emptying yourself for people who would not do the same for you. Being wise about who deserves your love does not mean withholding love from the world. It does not mean becoming cold or refusing to trust. It means recognizing the difference between those who truly value your presence and those who only use it for their own convenience. It means being aware of patterns, of how people treat you when they do not need something from you, of whether they make an effort to show they care. It means learning to listen not just to words, but to actions. Love should never be something you have to beg for. If someone truly cares for you, they will make it clear. They will not leave you wondering where you stand. They will not disappear when it is inconvenient. They will not only show up when they need something from you. Real love, whether in friendships, family, or romantic relationships, comes with consistency. It comes with effort. It comes with mutual respect. It does not make you feel like you have to constantly prove your worth. Many people struggle with the idea of setting boundaries in love, believing that love should be unconditional. But unconditional love does not mean unconditional access. You can love people and still protect your peace. You can love people and still walk away when they repeatedly hurt you. You can love people and still recognize that not everyone deserves your time and energy. There is nothing noble about allowing yourself to be drained, disrespected, or taken for granted in the name of love. True love should bring balance, not exhaustion. Love is a gift, and gifts should be given where they are valued. When you start to be more intentional about who receives your love, you will find that your relationships become more fulfilling. You will no longer feel like you are chasing people, begging for attention, or giving endlessly without appreciation. Instead, you will be surrounded by people who cherish your presence, who make an effort to give as much as they receive, who recognize that love is not just about taking, but also about giving in return. It is not selfish to be mindful of where your love goes. It is not wrong to step back from those who do not appreciate you. The people who truly deserve your time and energy are the ones who make space for you in their lives, who show gratitude, who uplift you rather than drain you. Love freely, but love wisely, because the right people will never make you feel like loving them is a burden. Those who truly care for you will make their intentions clear, without confusion or doubt. Love, respect, and genuine care should not feel like a puzzle you are constantly trying to solve. When someone truly values you, their actions will reflect it in ways that leave no room for uncertainty. You will not have to guess how they feel about you, question where you stand in their life, or wonder if you are important to them. Real care does not come with mixed signals, inconsistency, or the need for constant reassurance. Instead, it comes with clarity, effort, and a deep sense of security. Far too many people find themselves caught in relationships, friendships, or connections where they are left feeling unsure. They analyze text messages, replay conversations in their minds, and look for hidden meanings in the smallest interactions, hoping to find proof of care where it has not been clearly given. They settle for breadcrumbs of affection, mistaking inconsistency for mystery and cold behavior for depth. But love, in its truest form, is not confusing. It does not leave you in a state of emotional limbo, constantly questioning whether you matter to someone. People who genuinely care about you will make it known. They will not disappear and reappear when it suits them, nor will they only show up when they need something. They will be consistent, not just in words, but in actions. They will reach out, check in, and show that they value your presence in their life, not out of obligation, but because they genuinely want to. Their care will not be dependent on circumstances, convenience, or personal gain. It will be a natural and intentional part of how they treat you. When someone cares for you, their effort will reflect that care. You will not have to chase them for attention or beg them to prioritize you. You will not have to decipher their intentions like a difficult riddle. Instead, they will create space for you in their life willingly and without hesitation. They will take the time to listen, to understand, and to be present. They will remember the things that matter to you, not because they have to, but because they want to. True care is not about grand gestures alone. It is about the consistent, everyday ways someone makes you feel valued and appreciated. Many people hold onto relationships that bring more confusion than peace, convincing themselves that if they are patient enough, the other person will eventually make their feelings clear. But if someone repeatedly leaves you uncertain about their intentions, that is an answer in itself. The people who are meant to be in your life will not make you feel like you are fighting for clarity. They will not treat you as an afterthought, an option, or a temporary presence. Instead, they will make sure that you feel secure in their care for you. Genuine care does not thrive in ambiguity. It does not require you to fill in the blanks or assume what someone means. It does not leave you feeling unworthy or like you must earn someone's love and attention. When someone truly cares, they do not create distance or make you doubt your importance to them. They close the gap, they make the effort, and they reassure you not just with their words, but with their actions. One of the greatest forms of self-respect is recognizing when someone's inconsistency is not a challenge for you to solve, but a sign for you to step away. People who want to be in your life will act like it. They will not leave you second, guessing or waiting for validation. They will be honest about their intentions, and their behavior will match their words. You will not have to convince them to care, nor will you have to prove your worth to be treated with love and respect. Walking away from relationships that lack clarity is not an act of giving up. It is an act of choosing yourself. It is choosing to no longer settle for uncertainty, for half-hearted effort, or for people who do not appreciate your presence. The right people will not require you to constantly question where you stand. They will stand with you, beside you, and make it known that they are there for you, not just when it is easy, but always. The people who truly care for you will make it known in ways that do not require overanalyzing or second-guessing. They will bring peace, not confusion. They will bring reassurance, not doubt. They will not expect you to decipher their feelings or fight for a place in their life. Instead, they will make their care clear, without hesitation, without inconsistency, and without the need for you to wonder. You deserve relationships that bring you clarity, not confusion. You deserve connections that feel secure, not like a constant guessing game. The people who truly care for you will never leave you questioning your worth or your place in their life. They will show up, not just in words, but in actions. They will make their care known, not through mixed signals or fleeting gestures, but through consistency, respect, and genuine effort. So stop chasing after uncertainty. Stop holding on to those who make you feel like an option. Instead, choose to invest your time and energy in those who appreciate you, who prioritize you, and who make their love and care unmistakably clear.